the second part to 12.3. We are still talking about prisms here. Flip over to your SGI book on the back side. If you will notice, your directions on the back side are a little bit different. On the front side, it asks you for a lateral area. Look at your directions on the back side. Find a surface area. Okay, so if it just says find surface area, it's talking about the total surface area. So it's talking about all of the faces as well as the bases in this one. Okay, remember the lateral part does not include the bases, but if it says just surface area, we're doing everything. Okay, let's see if we can draw a net for this prism. So I'm going to always start, the thing it's sitting on is an 8 by 15. Okay. Can I lay down the two sides that are sitting up like this? Let's just lay them down and draw them on to each side here. What are the dimensions of each one of those rectangles? Look here, 8 by 15, that's still the same. And then over here on this side, let's take a look. There's another 8 over here. And then what is that same altitude if I were to sit this upright? Still 15. Okay. Where can I draw my bases at? It doesn't matter, but I like to kind of leave it where it's sitting. And let's just leave that attached. And can we just flip this triangle down? And on the back side, we'll just kind of flip it back so that it lays flat. Okay. So can we put our bases on this net? What do we know about every side of your base, that little triangle? We've got 8 all over the place, right? Okay. All right, now, we've got enough information here to just go ahead and start setting up areas. So first things first, what kind of shapes are we working with? Let's just go ahead and knock out the lateral areas. Always rectangles when we're working with prisms. So let's go ahead and 15 times 8. On your calculator, please do it as well. 120 is what I found for the area of one of those lateral faces. Take a look. What are the dimensions of this middle one? This is also an 8 by 15. This one is also an 8 by 15. So all of these lateral faces are exactly the same size. 120 is your area for each of those. Okay. What about your bases here? What shape is this? This is an equilateral triangle. Do you see it? Now, could we use A equals 1/2 base times height? Absolutely, we could. But take a look at this triangle. Your base is going to be 8. Is your height going to be 8? Nope. We would have to go in and we'd have to use some kind of process, either trig or Pythagorean theorem would work as well if we use 4, 8, and found this other leg here. We'd have to do an extra step in there to find my height. But it is possible. You can find your height and then you can plug into your regular formula for triangle. Okay? Or if you can remember, you have a special one. If you know it's an equilateral triangle, this is kind of that weird one. Side squared, square root 3, all divided by 4. They will not give this to you. So if you don't remember this, you got to do some work to find your height. Okay, here we go. Side squared, square root 3 divided by 4. If I'm using this formula, what is one of the sides of your equilateral triangle here? Well, it's just 8. Okay, so let's get a little calculator work and let's plug this thing in. If you're using a calculator on a cell phone, take it step by step. 8 squared is 64. And then do your square root of 3 by itself. 1.732 something, 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 something. And then step by step, let's take and multiply the numerator together and hit enter and then divide by 4. This is the number that I found for the area of this equilateral triangle. And if I can very carefully put that right inside here, 27.7. If that base on the bottom side is that area, what do I know about the bases in every prism? They're exactly the same. So this other base has got to be that same number because it's the same size, same dimensions. Okay, so now if I want total surface area, I've got every piece of this paper that's wrapped around this thing, of this net here. Let's just take and add together 120 plus 120 plus 120 plus 27.7 plus 27.7. When you do it, check and see, do you get 415.4? Let's finish it out with inches squared. That is your total surface area. And they will use a capital T to represent total surface area.